first year. For a few of you, we've switched things up for in regards to our ALC meeting. Some of you have seen our ALC meeting, some of you have not, and they're not supposed to be talking, but they are right now. So in our ALC meeting, it's essentially a discussion, a business discussion between myself and ALC. So in regards to kind of the, I might not be always asking questions out to everybody else in the audience. And part of our ALC, which is the Agent Leadership Council, is going through their numbers, as well as talking about the growth book that we did this year, and different items in regards to the market center. So we always start out every meeting prior to that, though, with bucket fills and something good. So who wants to start sharing? It's a new year. And I have faith this year that we are going to get at least 5 to 10 bucket fills or something good each meeting without pause. What do you say? Yeah? Okay, who's going to start? Maureen.
I'll bucket fill Selena. She's getting ready to leave tomorrow for Guatemala, but yet she still came in and met with our group this morning, and she still figured out a way to check in with us and be a part of things, and still make sure that everybody isn't freaking out that she's leaving Guatemala.
It's gonna be great. Look at how calm she is. She's like, it's gonna be great. Awesome. We're very grateful for Jelena. What else? What else we got?
I'm thankful for my first closing last month.
What else?
I have 3 buyers closing this month.
Okay, that's 3. We got 2 more at least.
I'll fill Lydia's bucket. She's been doing things for me remotely and it's been fantastic.
I didn't even know you were here.
Okay.
That's why I turned around like, huh?
Snuck in on Sunday night.
Awesome. What else? If Tony was in here, I would tell him he has to bring in that tiny little puppy of his, which is like 4 pounds, which is super cute. If you haven't met Frankie, ask him to bring him in. Rick.
So I'd like to thank first Royce, and then now a little bit more importantly, Jeff Meehan. We've now partnered on a land sale in Chanhassen that is incredible. It's a couple $1 million, and it's an amazing piece of land that commercial and residential is going to work on together. We get it.
Super cool.
My friend got a call this last week and he's able to get a new liver, so that's good.
Oh, that's really cool.
That's fantastic. All right. We got another one, Wendy.
So it's a little bit of a story. We got like a lead that came in from something Paige's doing, and I followed up with it like 18 times and there's nothing. And then one day she answered the phone. And so I met with her in August of 23 and signed buyer's rep, and she was a first time and first gen home buyer. And it took a while to kind of get credit cleaned up and some other things. And then on Friday, and I've been checking in with her, following up with her, encouraging her all along the way for the last, year and a half. And Friday I got a call that she saw something and is excited about it. And I did some research with fantastic property. She's completed the land lease application. We went and saw it this week, but it's just one of those things where, again, not one that's gonna, flood the bank account, but it sure fills your heart. And it also speaks to just staying in touch and staying in relationship and the good things that come from that. Super cool.
I know that there was another really good win that someone wanted to potentially share today.
Yeah, I would love to share. Thank you.
I would love to share. Thank you for looking straight at me.
In the FEMA follow-up, I got a lead from an open house that ended up buying and got listed out of that too.
From an open house, people. Let's say that from the rooftop. From an open. 2 pieces of business. And that's already on. It's live, right?
Yeah, the listing's up. Champlin Townhouse 25.
Awesome. Super cool. Anybody? All right. Anybody else? All right, we are moving on. So our January training calendar is up. We have quite a few different trainings, and then you'll see kind of the fun things that are on there. So Friday is movie day, and we have a movie each Friday that will just kind of play over and over. We kind of have themes, if you can't tell. And you know, this Friday is Mighty Ducks, which I'm super excited about. And then we also have Taco Tuesday, which is going to be every single month. Do you want to talk a little bit about you providing some tacos on Tuesday with the trainings?
There are gonna be tacos on Tuesdays with the trainings.
Thank you. This is how that's gonna go. Okay.
Everybody loves tacos. We take suggestions for tacos.
It's the second Tuesday, right? Yes. the
Second Tuesday.
Tuesday. So come to the training, have some tacos.
No tacos, no training, or training, no training, no
No
tacos.
training, no tacos.
There you
Yeah, I think that's the way that goes.
Hilton's gonna kick you out. if you
He'll be the bouncer.
don't.
Then we have our R&R on the 15th. Do we know where that is yet?
We sure do. It is at, thanks to Lydia, she had a great idea. We're gonna go to Baja House because it's freaking freezing right now. And the Baja House is real tropical. We've had a really fun time there. It's super
Yeah.
close. So yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun.
And we always get kind of that back area too, if the other ones aren't. Yeah, that's gonna be really fun. Awesome, and that's 4 to 6, correct?
Whenever.
4 to 6.
Whenever, Kimi.
Okay. Last time I left before 6,
Hilton.
thank you. The required module.
Oh, there she is. She's a troublemaker on the end. There you go.
She's sipping her coffee. Let's not be pointing fingers over there, okay?
Very social, thank you.
Required module, I think we have 20-ish people that have that completed already.
Have signed up, yeah.
Or that have signed up, okay. So this is on the 16th, 10 to 1:45, it is $30. Everybody does need this. So if you haven't done it, I can guarantee it's much more entertaining in person than if you do it on the CE shop or online, because it's a long one. And usually there's a fun little quiz at the end of it, no matter where you take it. So I highly recommend signing up for this.
Scan the QR code right
Yeah, scan it right now.
Do it.
My head in the way, maybe. Any questions around that? All right. We have more meeting Fridays. We have our commercial on the 1st and the 3rd this month. And then we are closed on the 20th. We have our lead gen, 3 different ways, which will be the training. Right now, it is currently social media and fear. And we are looking for potentially events as well. So that'll be one that is a good one. And then 6 personal perspectives is on the 28th. Any questions around the training calendar?
Teaching 6 person.
I am.
And
I was
it's
like,
gonna be the first one, because, you know, it can't be like a half day class.
So each week or each month we'll have on the last Tuesday will be one of them. So that'll be the training. So come to the first one and then keep doing it. And I'll be doing the first 2. And then we'll see who does the rest of them. Awesome. Also, did you guys notice we don't have very many trainings on Thursdays? You guys noticed that? So that means that you don't have as much to go to, which means that the trainings are really, really important. And we hope to see you on Tuesday. All right.
11 o'clock.
Yes.
on Tuesday.
Do you want to talk about this?
Sure. So I just wanted to put this out here to put it on your calendar. We are setting up a CE Blitz on April 10th. So it'll be a day you can come and get right now 5 CEs on that day. You wouldn't have to go to all of them. But yeah, so we'll have a Blitz day on April 10th. So you can come and grab a bunch in one day.
So between the required module and this particular day, you would be half done with your CEs. And because I am just like you, that means that you don't have to do it on June 28th. Which, yes, I know you're like, we don't do that. Yeah, you do. All of us do that. You have 8 done, right? So that means on June 28th, you only need 7, which I think is the maximum that you can do in one day. So sign up for these 2, especially with this one, because those are free, correct? So you have 5 free CE credits if you just sign up. I love how they're all looking at their books to see what we should talk about.
We're excited. Be here. Yep. And we'll have lunch, so just come and.
We already talked about Movie Fridays, but part of Movie Fridays is we also have the popcorn machine. It has been requested that you do not pop your own popcorn, and when it is popping, do not open the door. Because those are two things that have happened that are set rules by Lydia and Heather, including myself. I can't pop the popcorn either.
Oh,
Are you ready?
you wanna dump them in?
Yeah, we can do that.
So as you guys know, for last quarter, if you came to a training or the team meeting, you could write your name on a ticket and put it in here. And now we are drawing for the $500 gift card.
It's a Visa gift card,
It's a
right?
Visa gift card, so you can spend it how you want. You want me to draw?
Yeah.
I know. Kelly's willing.
Oh. No, we did not make the, you have
Well,
to be present to it.
and we are gonna keep this going. So in first quarter, everyone in here today, make sure you, fill out a ticket. I think they're still back there. Put it in, and then every training that you come to, enter to win. And we'll let Kelly know.
Awesome. That's a free $500, by the way. So you're getting education and you get $500. I'm like, that's kind of a win-win. Okay, so tutor of the day, again, we just want to reiterate, there are different people on each day. So this is on the screens as well. So their phone number, their emails, in regards to giving them a call, a text, an email for daily questions in regards to contracts, negotiations, listing price, scripting, they're just a phone call away. And honestly, they are not utilized as much as what you would think, right? So if you truly do have a question and you can't find someone here, take a look at who the tutor of the day is, and just give them a call. They volunteer. Yes, Rick.
You know, I just would like to say something about this, because again, it isn't utilized a ton. The guys, people are on there, raise your hand if you've gotten calls. Okay, so that's good. In real estate, the transaction can stay together or fail in a period of about 10 minutes. So there's these critical time periods right after an inspection, right when you get an appraisal, right when you find out that somebody's financing is going awry. And those are the times when you guys need to not do it on your own. And that's why this was set up, so that you got an opportunity during those critical times to reach out to somebody. That's every single day. So
Well, and if, because the other question will be like, where can we find this, right? You know where you can find this is I would take a picture of this right now and have it on your phone, maybe put it in your favorites, so that when that time comes and you're like, man, I don't know who the tutor of the day is, it's in your phone. When do you not have your phone? Never, right? Put it as a favorite and you can look right there and say, okay, Tuesday, this is the tutor of the day, and have their contact information available. Questions around that?
It's also pinned at the top of our private Facebook group. So if you go in there, it's right there.
Awesome. We might. We'll talk to Jelena after this. Cause I'm like, I don't know if she has all yours.
Right, I don't know either.
That's a good question. All right, so, interesting enough, you're seeing most of the faces that are up on this board sitting in front of you right now. We currently have 15 people going to family reunion, which is incredible, in regards to the people that are showing up for that. So, we have some more spots, which are these little question marks. I think we're like 30, how many days out? Like 35 days out, something like that, maybe even less than that. If you're still interested, let us know, because we'd love to have you there. And there's some fun dinners that are set up as well, just in regards to maybe enjoying some personal time and learning a little bit more about the people sitting up here as well. Any questions around that? Okay. Okay, I'm really excited about it. Number one, if you guys don't know by now, like I love hockey, right? So they're like, ooh, let's do a contest. I was like, well, what about a hat trick contest? Right? Well, in order to have a hat trick, what do you need?
a hat.
You need three goals, right? So I was like, all right, cool. I, like you, have goals for the market center, right? And I've set up this so that it's a $500 Delta card. And there's three different ways that you can get tickets for this. So number one, a warm lead to Kami via text message or email. What does that mean? That means that that person that you have a warm lead from that is an agent outside of this market center is on that email as well. So they know who I am when I call them or I contact them, right? I love the fact that people will randomly give me a name and then I call them and I say, hey, such and such referred me. And they're like, who? Right? So this allows them to put two and two together. Number one, for you as well, when I meet with them, can potentially go into your profit share, right? The second way, which has 5 tickets, is you bring someone to a team meeting or a training. The number one thing I think that's difficult sometimes that I've heard from recruits that come here is you don't know what it actually is until you're here and you see some of the trainings and you come to the team meetings and you see the atmosphere. So that's a huge one of just bringing someone here and seeing if it's different from where they are. And then the last one is you get 10 tickets for any agent that actually joins and that is added to your downline. Do you guys have questions around this? Who is excited for this? All right, guys, fine, whatever. I'm just excited. And who knows, maybe we'll add some other fun things that have to do with hockey to that.
I'm sorry, when is the contest happen?
It's now until, what is the end date?
Sorry.
End of February.
It's the end of February.
I thought it
So
was
the
Valentine's.
20, what's the last day? The last Friday of February? 20, is it 28th? The 28th.
It's Valentine's Day for the sweetheart ending.
Oh, it is. It is the sweetheart ending for the 14th.
Until the Stanley Cup is.
It's like June.
It's like.
I was like,
Summer.
that's like way out there. That's way out there. So we will end this on the 14th. If anyone comes in before that, which it can happen, right? Most likely you'll end up getting that $500, right? Any other questions? Nope. Okay. All right, I will actually start the ALC meeting. Do I hear a motion to start the very first ALC meeting? Do I hear a second? Perfect. So I want to go over our GPS from last year as a market center first, and then we'll kind of go over the other things. So 50% of our agents with 200 plus contacts did happen, correct, Heather? Yes? Yes, it did. 55% of agents in production and each month and 35 taking listings. That did not. So our highest was 47% of our agents in production. So that one has been one where we kind of fallen short each month, but it's been getting up higher and higher and higher since 2022. So that's a positive. Closed units, our goal was 1,200. We ended with 1049. Listings taken was 650, and we ended with 689. I know we talked about that gap. I don't know, it was in the middle of November, I believe. And that was a really tough gap. We weren't even sure if we were going to make 650, and then we ended up surpassing it by 39. So good work on that. The goal was 6 accountability groups. We currently have 4. Grow 60 agents. We grow 35. The goal was to net 15, and we net 13. So win was that we net, even though we didn't gross as many. And then grow 4 cappers and obtain 75,000 in owner profit, and we ended up with 85 to 59. Do you guys have questions in regards to that? The reason I think it's important for this to be shared is that we set goals as a market center, just like you do as a business. And I think that we always are like, oh, we're going to hit those goals or we're going to surpass those goals, right? Part of some of the reasons we did not hit these goals last year is we didn't review every goal that we had on our GPS like we should have. So we're just like any of you, right? And if you're not reviewing it, you have no idea where you're tracking on it, quite honestly. I mean, when we looked at it in 4th quarter, I was like, we kind of forgot that that was even a goal on our 135, right? We're human too. So that shift has made it like, we've actually kind of changed some of the things. We'll go over our goals this year so that we're looking at that every single month. And then we can track and see, okay, are we surpassing that and where's our gap? Questions around that at all? All right. So in case some of you don't know, the faces that are in front of you, I'm just gonna give them a second to introduce themselves, introduce if they're on a team, what that looks like, and maybe one fun fact. Bethany, you can start.
I'm Bethany Nelson. I lead the Bethany Nelson group here at the office and, fun fact,
Yeah, what's a fun fact about you?
I was a collegiate rugby player.
Why did I not know that fun fact until just now?
I actually played on the men's team because the women's team didn't take off, so.
Shocking.
That's awesome.
That's
Awesome.
cool.
Sherry Welly, I have a team with my daughter. That's the fun fact, mother-daughter team. Jay Welly.
Awesome.
Ben Zurich, I lead the team with my brother Alex. We've got Rachel, Courtney, and Jacob on our team. Fun fact is I started a fraternity back in college, so we grew that into a big house, but, there we go.
Was Jacob hurt?
Nothing else, yep.
Oh,
I wish.
skipped. Awesome. Jacob.
Jacob Milton, solo agent currently, working on growing a team. And fun fact, I'm from Iowa, went to Iowa State with Ben. And Alex. Yes.
And I'm Roy Sturman. I'm the commercial guy in the group. Been with W Commercial for 10 years now. Fun fact about me, I really love pickleball.
And you're like really good at it.
I try to be, yeah. Some days I'm good, some days I'm not.
And Jose, right on time. You're doing a little introduction, who you are and what your team is, and then a fun fact.
Fun fact, my name is Jose Hilario. My team, I have a director, or actually change that, so I have transaction coordinator, show an agent, and then also the client care coordinator. When it comes to a fun fact, I used to be a professional boxer.
Yeah. Achievers in this group. All right, so let's get started first with the book. So what I asked them, this particular book, if you are in coaching with me or you've come up with any challenges, I'm like, you should read this book. I think I've posted about it a million times. And Chris, I was like,
Reading through it,
yeah, and he was like, oh, wow, kind of like. a
And I didn't
special-
know you were reading it at the time when I started reading it.
It's a great book.
Yeah.
It's also not for anyone that's not willing to take a really deep look in the mirror, because that's what it's all about, right? Is the things that you probably think about that could be holding you back in various different parts of your life. So I asked them, we have it split up in pages or in like little sections each month. And we had 1 through 26 for January, and I asked them to bring an aha that they're either going to use in their business or their personal life, or something that they found interesting about those first 26 pages, which there was a lot in them. So who wants to start?
I think the main thing I got from the first chapter is that you're in control of your own life. And actually, make a change, but hard.
Who wants to add to that, or something different?
If something isn't great in your life, whether it's how you exercise or not exercising or something, oftentimes it can be just unfamiliarity of that and getting educated and learning more about it so that you're more comfortable. That's kind of a big takeaway, just oftentimes something that you're scared of is just maybe because you're not as educated on it, and once you're familiar with it, then it's not as fearful.
Awesome. What else?
Piggyback off of that, there's a whole section on like self-sabotage, and we self-sabotage when we are unfamiliar, and so it's interesting because I feel like the first chapter is a lot about your own awareness about your worthiness. Like, am I worthy to take control of my own life? That's why we self-sabotage. So I went very internal on the first chapter.
I mean, to be completely blunt, and I think John might be on here, but there was a lot of like, I take notes in my book, right? And I like write words and stuff. And there was a lot of notes that were not like normal. It was like, oh shit, dig into this. Like, if you would go in here, like that's the notes where it's like, it hits you really hard, right? And if you don't journal or if you do journal, there's different prompts in this book that are incredibly useful. What else?
Yeah, I sort of piggyback that. A lot of times when you are at a low point in life, you have imposter syndromes. So I'm not worthy of becoming great. And you have to work at it. You have to educate yourself and build the skills to get to that, get to that higher level, but anyone can.
Got it. The words low point have been coming up a lot. And I would not say that for me, I'm in a low point of my life, right now. But it's lower than I want to be, right? So in regards to that, like when the word's low point, it's not like you have to be down here and you shouldn't read the book if you're not. It's, do you want to be higher than where you are, right? And how do you kind of exceed that? The point of the mountain is you, right? Like you got to get over the mountain. Or that piece that's holding you back. Sherry.
I was shocked how often I probably do self-sabotage myself.
I think it's not our.
Nobody's ever asked me to use the microphone.
Hello.
Yeah.
In reading it, I've reflected a lot, like Cindy said, but I was like, God, I think I do this a lot. Sabotage. I put myself in situations or think, well, I can do this or going to turn out how I wanted to. Just the negative thoughts. And then the one that I underlined, angry, determined, and allow yourself to develop a vision with one thing and the one thing only at the end. You will not go on as hard.
Awesome. Hey, it's you.
When it comes to the book, I'd say pretty much the same thing that these guys have said. I mean, the name of the book, The Mountain Is You. So what do you have to do to get to the next level in your life? That's pretty much the main takeaway for me.
So, I mean, you kind of heard a lot of the similar things. And again, it was only 26 pages. I think for me, as you guys say all this, right? And the whole reason for this book is to take you from one place in your life to the next, whether or not it's personally or professionally. And I think as we go on, you learn that if your life isn't improving personally, most likely it's not going to improve professionally, right? They kind of have to do it similar time frame, or at least work on yourself to be able to really put the best version of yourself forward. I'll kind of leave you with this last, like this was the biggest piece for me. And I think of a lot of people that come into my office that are stuck. It says the greatest act of self-love is to no longer accept a life you're unhappy with. It's to be able to state the problem plainly and in a straightforward manner, right? I think what we do is we sit there and we loathe in whatever's happening, and then we go into victim mode and we feel bad and I can't get out of it, and then it snowballs. And if you can identify the problem and then find out 2 solutions, and if those 2 solutions don't work, find 3 solutions. And if those don't work, you go find someone else to help you with the solution, right? And that can be with anything in your life. And that just kind of sets us up for the whole rest of the book. And it gets deeper and deeper and deeper, which I'm excited to kind of explore with you guys. Anything else with that? Awesome. All right, so we have an agenda for the meeting as well. So we go through growth, productivity, profitability, culture, and then anything that's like old business from the meeting before. Since this is the very first one, starting with our growth, we go through what our market center count is. So currently, right now, we are at 149. In regards to where we ended last year, we were at 148. So we have had an addition of 1 agent this month. I just want to kind of thank everybody for last year, because I think it was a huge year. We had a ton of growth last year in agent count, but also just productivity. It was absolutely incredible, the numbers that we put up. And I don't see this year being any different. Quite honestly, I see us surpassing the goals that we had from last year and even the goals that we've set for this year. Do you guys have questions in regards to agent count or growth at all? The one thing that I noted in this agenda was exit interviews. So a lot of the agents that we lost last year were either to icing their license or non-producing agents that went to referral networks or no fee brokerage. We did have a few producing agents, and the one thing with that we would like to do is come up with some questions in regards to an exit interview to help us become better as a market center and also understand why someone would be leaving so that we can make sure that we're always improving. So that's the one note in there that I would like for us to think about is maybe come up with questions, and then next month I can kind of review those, what those questions would be. Is that fair? Okay, awesome. Next is productivity. In this section, we are going to go over everybody's goals for the year. So every single one of them have had to do a GPS, a 1 through 5, same thing. And they're going to go over their metrics. They're going to share those. And then we're just going to see where you're going to be pacing so far. Obviously, those numbers were, 2 weeks in, a week and a half in. But at least get a sense of where you are this month. You want to start, Bethany?
Sure, so just to make sure I do this correctly, you want me to go through dials, contacts, like all of
The
those
ones that are on
metrics?
the first metric.
Yeah, great. Okay, so on an annual or monthly basis?
Let's do annual.
Okay. So, my metrics for this year are 12,000 dials. So the goal is 1,000 a month. 2,400 contacts, which means it's a two-way conversation or it doesn't count. Mine are a little goofy because I track my own stuff and I track the team stuff. So I'm gonna report out 2 numbers or appointments. My goal is 60 appointments for myself. For the team, for the team, we need to go on 300 appointments this year. For contracts, we need a contract signed, 50 for myself, 225 for the team. For closed unit, my goal is to close 40 myself, 170 for the team. Company dollar, which means our overall gross commission income for our entire team is, the goal is 2 million and some change. And then our profit goal is 725,000 in profit. Awesome. Do you want me to say, so as of right now, I'm a little under 50 dials in. I know I made at least 10 contacts yesterday. I have my first appointment of the year tomorrow, and I will sign that listing. We had 1 closing as a team year to date for 9,000 at GCI.
Awesome. Sure.
Dials and
As they're saying this is an incredibly vulnerable thing to do, right? So as the year progresses, there are going to be times that they're not hitting their goals, and we are still meeting up here and they are sharing their goals. And I can tell you that's not a fun place to be, right? Just like me saying, hey, guess what? Our gross goal was 60 and I fell 25 short. Not awesome, right? So that's a reflection of what was I doing that didn't hit that, right? So when this is being said, it's a really serious situation where, hey, guess what? Something's going on and we'll talk about what it is if they're not hitting it. And if they're crushing it too, we'll talk about, hey, what keeps you on track or how is that happening? So I just want you to know this is not an easy place to be at all. And I appreciate everything that they're doing. And some of them are doing this for the very first time in front of a group of people. Some of them the first time in front of anybody, quite honestly. So I just want to say thank you for that as we're going through this.
all right, annually for dials, 1,300. Next one is contact. I have 500. Actual appointments, I have 100. Contracts. I have 88. Closed units 40, and GCI 500.
Profit. Yes. Okay. And then where are you tracking so far this month?
20 contacts so far. I have enough appointments.
Alrighty, let's see. So for this year, it's kind of tricky in terms of dials that we do because we do our lead gen a little differently. We like to touch everyone like 60 times a year. But in terms of like direct reach outs, we're looking at 1,300. Contacting 600 to set 183 or connecting with 600 in order to have 183 contacts per appointment. 183 appointments. 101 of them are going to be listing. That's what we focus on, and then about 82 of them being buyers. We're looking at on average close about 12 per month, but to keep our month consistent as much as possible versus kind of going with the ebb and flow of the market. So doing 12 closings a month, we plan to hit 13, but a month also. Looking to produce 1.65 million with 660 GCI, which is a 40% profit for income there. So it's trying to push that even higher. But that puts us at 660. We are on pace right now for the month of January. We've got 11 set to close right now, but we need to hit 12. I do think we have time to ideally get one more in to stay.
Jacob.
So dials go 52,500, contacts 5,250. To get 240 appointments from that. 109 contracts, 76 closed, 836,000 GCI.
Awesome.
I'm actually right on pace for contacts with 109 already. I'm probably about 7 appointments.
Can we just talk about this? If you guys, which most of you probably don't see Jacob, because his door is always shut, because he's making the calls. Like when we're talking about this, he's like, I'm right on pace, right? Because that's what you're doing every single day. Like do you miss a day on that?
Really?
Okay, so it's just interesting the different techniques, right? So like with Ben even, Ben was like, I've been coaching you guys for what, a year, maybe? A year and a half, maybe somewhere around there. Tracking is not something that you've done with contact. It's kind of like it just happens and, they do a lot with their sphere. So this is completely going out of your comfort zone in regards to like actually tracking those, which could over time might be more difficult, right? Where you know where your calls are coming from, yours are tracking like sphere of influence. So just kind of as we talk about those different things, just things to notice. Royce.
Okay, so my goal for this year's dials and reach outs is 1,300, which amounts to about 25 calls per week. That's outbound. My goal is to get about 25% contact rate with those outbound calls, which will hopefully turn into 2 appointments. That's my goal for this year, just 1 week, or 1 week. And total contracts is 35 and total units closed is 25. My GCI goal for this year is 350, slacker in the group, which would amount to a profit of about 275.
Awesome.
When it comes to my dials, I'm gonna be doing 1,300 dials. When it comes to the dials, it's not just me doing the dials; it's also my director or my client care coordinator. When it comes to contacts, we will be doing 600 contacts to schedule 260 appointments. The way that I break that down is about 5 a week. Obviously, we're gonna have some holidays in between there, but 5 a week. When it comes to contract, we'll do 145 contracts to close 120 units to do a GCI of 759,000. Now, I'm kind of cheating on that one because 120 is more, but I'm shooting for 120 because my goal is, I have my goal to close 100, but I had a goal of 100 this year and I didn't hit it. So I'm shooting for 120, close the 100.
Play mind games with yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Or maybe with you, Kami.
Yeah. 26 again.
Well, so the thing about it is, do I want to close 120? No, I want to close 100, but I'm gonna close 120. It land between, make sure that I hit my true goal. Anyway, when it comes to the profit, 400K is the profit goal.
Awesome. All right, so I will go over the market center goals. So for dials and reach out, so that's dials for me as well as reach outs in regards to events and who I talk to and contact that way is 12,000. Contacts is 4,800. Appointments is 480 appointments. Gross agents is 55 and net is 25. Company dollar for us, which is like GCI for them, is 7,400 or 7,049, 420. And then the profit goal is 125. In regards to the breakdown for our appointments, because ours it's a little bit different. So we break our appointments down in producing agents, capping agents, and then brand new agents. So it's 200 appointments for capping agents, 280 appointments for both brand new and non-producing, so kind of that in between. I think that's it for our goals. Currently, we have 1 in, 2 will be going to the DOC this week. We had 1, that one will be transferring. So we are 3 out of 5 this month.
You're on track with your dials?
I am on track with my dial. Yes, not on track with my appointment. So a little tougher right now with that. So trying to do some different things with it. We've never put out an ad before. I did a personal ad on my real estate team to try to get those, because what I'm finding is people that do ads as a real estate team get a ton of different agents that are interested in joining teams. That's the really big push right now. So I did an ad just to get the information, right, and get the leads coming in. That has not turned a bunch yet. So we'll see. We're gonna switch some different things up to get more leads inbound as well, versus just outbound. Good question. Anything else? All right, so we went over that. In regards to productivity, what I will be reviewing also each ALC is our month over month numbers as well as our year to date. So we have not done that prior to, or I had not done that prior to in our ALC meetings. So that kind of just shows what our, do you have something to stand at?
I know, I'm just listening.
Oh, I thought you were late. So that's something that we'll be tracking every single year. In regards to when I was saying we didn't know what our goals were, that's a very honed in report showing exactly where we are tracking every single month, for the fact of us hitting those goals again. All right, profitability, we kind of went over that. Next up is culture. So we have the hat trick contest coming up. The one thing that we are going to start doing that I don't know if I actually prepped you guys on, is one act of kindness or something that you see of culture within our market center from an agent. I think I might have mentioned it in the email. Have any of you experienced that from an agent that's not sitting up here that you want to recognize in the last few months? Or just being in culture, right?
No, she said no one up.
Yeah, it can be someone up there.
I thought you said someone could be someone up there. She's always.
So moving forward, just making sure that I think the biggest thing for us is you being the leaders up here, right? Set an example, and then kind of seeing what other leaders that we can create throughout the market center. That's pretty much it for the ALC meeting this time, because we don't have any other old business to go over, right? Do you guys have anything to add to that at all?
I think everyone in the room know like why the ALC exists. Just be a comment I have. I don't know if there's just more agents in the room that maybe don't understand like that we're gonna help be their voice. Like they have a concern in the market center. That obviously you can always put a leadership, but maybe if you want to bounce ideas off of someone, that's the purpose of the ALC is to be the agent voice.
Well, it was created, right? I mean, the biggest thing about KW is it was created like by agents for agents, right? So in regards to her saying that there's a voice there, we have an ALC. Some people kind of joke about it as it's like a student council, because it is, right? When issues come up, whether or not, I mean, the biggest vote that we had, was that 2 years ago now? 2.5 years ago, was our cap structure, right? I think some of you probably remember our cap was a lot higher. At this particular market center, it was 22, and we had a vote of changing that down to 13. So that was something that we talked about as an ALC, we talked about as leadership. It wasn't just a top-down decision that was made. So different, scenarios like that come up, or things that you're seeing, that, hey, we might think that this is a change, and even positive things, right? So that we can kind of double down on it if it is a positive. So it's not always negative, but they are the ones that would vote on some sort of change throughout the year, that would affect everybody in this market center. Any questions around that in regards to the ALC from anyone, either on Zoom or here? The other piece is, if you don't know, you have to be invited to the ALC. So it's the top 20% of the market center that gets an invite. And I don't know if they like it or not, but they also have to fill out a questionnaire, right? So it's not just like a, hey, you're just picked for this. There's questions of why you want to be on the ALC. And it's one where the market center wants you to want to be up here, right? We want to see you grow as individual agents, because the more that you see them grow, it's super influential for everyone that's sitting out here. I don't know what you guys are thinking as you heard their numbers and how they track, but I know when I was a brand new agent, I was sitting out there, and the number one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to be sitting right here. And I think it took 2 years, and I was then on the ALC for 6 years, right? And part of that was I wanted to be a part of something larger, right? Maybe why I'm also sitting right here. But it pushed me to grow my business because I wanted to be in communication with them. And I wanted to be in communication every single week with them. Anything to add to that?
How much you guys get paid?
Enough, Brahma.
The actual answer is zero. So I make sure everyone knows that.
My grace season.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, as, you know, I've been in a brokerage for a year. I appreciate just listening to your numbers. I know it takes a little bit of courage to open the vein, having been in Eden Prairie. So what I hear is I'm listening and I'm comparing it to what my numbers are and my goals are. It's like, okay, by doing that, you are kind of setting the example, and you're the leadership council. So you're taking the lead here and saying, look, we're top 20%. This is what we're doing. You know, it might get people kind of trigger their brain. It's like, well, maybe I better step up my game. And I'm looking at, like I said, I'm bouncing my numbers off of what I'm hearing from you going, yeah, Ben's got some pretty audacious numbers that maybe I better step it up because I want to, do better than last year, So it's, yeah, so thank you for being up there doing that. It takes a lot to open that vein.
The other thing I just encourage you as you share that, Mike, is that what's cool about this ALC is it's really a variety of different business models. So as Royce joked that he's like this, what did you say? You're the
Slacker.
Yeah.
Well, he can say he's the slacker. We got the king at the end, we got a whole bunch of nicknames already, and we're like 2 weeks in.
There's literally every different model sitting up here. And so the other thing I would just encourage you is like, don't look at anyone's numbers and go and compare yourself to that. I've got 10 agents, like 2 million in revenue should be possible with 11 of us in production. So just want to encourage you, like, if you want to model yourself after someone or be challenged by someone, make sure you know the full picture versus just comparing where you're at, what we share.
You can all agree on salt.
At the same time, it's motivating.
Yeah.
Any other questions for them right now? Because this might be one of those times where you need to ask them and open it up to everybody. Wendy?
Sherry, were your numbers for you and Your daughter or just for you? Okay. And who are you calling, Jacob? Are you cold calling and Spear and ET, like your,
A lot of past clients that are already in my database, half my calls are follow-up calls. Probably more than. Some people you meet at open houses or the last.
Can I just say one thing? It's really funny because I shared my goals with them, right? And I don't know if they even caught that I shared the previous goals because they told me in our retreat that we are gonna be 201 agents by the end of this year. And I said, well, if that's gonna happen, I really need your help, right?
I noticed, but I didn't think we were allowed to like put you on blast up here.
Oh, yeah, you absolutely do. Like, I'm gonna put you on blast for a few months, so like. So these were the goals that we set at our leadership council, right, where our leadership retreat. And I went into the ALC and, well, really go backwards. Myself and Heather and Jacob went to FSO. So Franchise Systems kind of down in Austin. And they were like, you know, the average market center is 200 agents. And I look over at Heather, I look over at Jacob, and I don't remember what the actual comment you said. And but in my mind, what I heard was, do you like being below average? I mean, I don't think that's what he said, but that's what I heard. And I was like,
I said, what are we at?
I know, and then maybe that's it, right? That was the problem. And I was like, shit. And I was like, oh, we're at one, and at the time, I think we were at like 146 or 147, something like that. And so we go in and I said, you know, the goal is 175. And then that got brought up at the ALC. And I was like, well, actually average is 200. And they're all like, we're getting to 201. Right. And I was like, oh, cause I'm like, I really can't do that alone. Right. Hence the hat trick. Like I can't do that by myself. I don't know where I was going with this, quite honestly.
To ask them if they want to ask.
Yeah. And so anyways, I'm like, when we talk about this, right, sometimes we up our goals and like for them, I'm like, I was curious if they would actually find that as a like, oh, well, she's actually not at her, like those aren't her real goal, but.
Could we pull up the hat trick slide again?
Yeah.
Does everyone have an idea of how to make a good referral?
Oh, I know where that was actually going. I was talking about my goal first, and then I was like, oh, I lost track. So I told them that, right? And Jacob within 2 weeks had 3 referrals, which leads to this, right? So he had 2 warm referrals from the 2 deals that you closed via email. And then I get a text message on a Saturday morning at 11:30. And it's like, hey, I'm in an Uber and he wants to get into real estate. And I'm like, what? And I get an email that says it was that particular person. And I set an appointment with one of the 3 that's already in the business and the Uber driver. I had to send 3 different emails. Finally, he answered yesterday and he was like, man, I've been really busy. Talked with Candy and started K-Prep. So I'm like, the point of this story is I can't do my goals alone. They can't do their goals alone. My sphere is you guys, right? So most of you know I haven't really went up to you and been like, hey, who do you know that's in the business that would love to be in our market center? Because I feel weird doing that, just like you feel weird maybe doing that to your sphere, right? But when I put that out there, they were like, I want to see you reach your goal. I want to see the market center reach your goal. So think of it that way for you too. When you have that hesitation of like, oh, I don't want to talk to anyone and I don't know. If someone called you and said they had a goal and they were your friend or your family, would you want to help them with it? Most of us would say yes, if they're your friend or your family. If they're not, I would check if they're your friend or your family, right? Like share that and they'll help you. They'll help you this year grow your business. I'll let you go with that.
I just think making referrals, we should always give referrals the way we want to receive them. So have you ever had someone say like, hey, Wendy, I gave your name to my close friend. Hopefully they give you a call. You've heard that? They usually don't call you. Like they don't. But whenever someone says that to me, I'm like, oh, awesome. Would you actually mind throwing us on a group text together so that I can reach out and make sure that they don't lose my information? 9.5 times out of 10, they do it. same thing with Kami, like, don't just throw her a name, like, talk to someone. The easiest thing I would do right now is go through every closing you had last year and go, who's not an a-hole that I would like to see at the office? And then call them and say, hey, we had a really good year at our office last year, and I loved our transaction together on 123 Main Street. Would you be interested in having a conversation with our office leader about the opportunities at Keller Williams? Like, it's that easy. And if they say no, they say no, like, okay. But if they say yes, then all you do is throw them on a group text with Kami, and then your job is done. Great.
We were talking, a couple of the agents and I were talking about this and how to, make this a little bit more efficient. And a lot of us have got systems in place at closing where you already have a list of things that have to happen. You gotta have the closing gift available and ready. You gotta have the utilities all sorted out for that closing. Why not add to what you do? Something that prompts you to either give a referral of the co-agent or not. Because that closing is when you're at the end, that's when you know how everything went with that realtor. After that, you're likely not gonna talk to them unless something goes wrong or there's some question afterwards. But that's the premier time. And then obviously, like Bethany was saying, how would you like to receive the referral? If you send that to Kami, send some notes that say, hey, here's a realtor, I just closed this deal, so that she can reference it. And this is what I like about them. They're just like
Can I
Bethany
ask
Nelson.
that too?
That's why they should be here.
Even if the deal doesn't go well, that agent might be going through something and that's why the deal didn't go well, right? A, they don't have systems in place. B, they don't have enough business. C, they have too much business. Please don't cherry pick who you send to me unless it is someone that is completely unethical, right? Because we don't know what's going on. Would you say to your friends and family, be like, oh man, they only want to buy $150,000 house. Please don't send them to me. And I have to help them with their credit. Like, I'm good. Send them to someone else. No, you wouldn't say that. You would say, I thank you for the referral. I'm going to help them in whatever way I can, right? Because we can't judge what that scenario is. So good or bad, maybe let me know how that transaction went, because then I can help ask the questions in that appointment of what could potentially be going on in their business. Is that fair? Anything else?
You share that Google sheet with everybody.
Yeah, so there's also a Google sheet that I might have Lydia just share, and it's actually kind of can't say the word script, the conversations that the agents are having via email as well as phone calls with agents that they're doing co-op business with. All right, let's end it with one last thing and then we'll close out. Why are you on the ALC?
I think Jose would like to start.
Jose. We're starting with the, well, he's just so close, so I'm like looking down that way.
Yeah.
No, you're starting, Jose.
When it comes to joining the ALC, the reason why I'm here is because Kami forced me.
Not true.
No. When it comes to my business, I want to grow my business. I want to be held accountable. And then also want to make sure that I'm giving back to the office and being part of the community.
The reason why I'm part of the ALC is one for motivation. Being on a high performers like this is really motivating. Thought I was doing good, but really not. So that's one. And then second, I also just want to help build the commercial presence in the market center and try to find ways where we can interact more with the residential agents.
I'll second the motivation, and then also I think I have more potential than where I'm at currently.
Say personal growth, business growth, doing things I wouldn't do if I weren't on the ALC, and of course learning from everyone else on the ALC.
That's a huge one. Learning, accountability, motivation, just like they're saying, tension at this office, this market center, and building this.
Let's say the real answer why you first wanted to play.
Didn't want Sherry to be stuck with the frat party at the end of the table. Okay, there was actually a little truth to that. I was like, what do you mean? She's the only female on the ALC. Okay, but in all seriousness, over growing our team over the last couple of years, I've kind of had my head down with just our team growth. And I've missed the connectivity and just the culture of Keller Williams. And so pouring back into KW, the way KW has poured into me the last 14 years is a big part of it. And then for sure, the accountability with everyone at this table and Kami. And the last piece is one thing I learned this year in our team from going from 4 agents to 11 is a dinner party is a lot more fun when you have 11 people than 4 people. And same concept with the office. Like the more people, the more professionals, the more energy, more listings, like we all win. And so seeing that growth in our office.
Awesome. All right, who motions to close the January ALC meeting? Awesome. All right. So that's how the ALC meetings will go from now on. February's, we will review what happened in this meeting, and it'll kind of keep going because different topics will come up. We'll review our numbers. We'll also see where they're at. Any questions around that at all? All right. So Delaney was doing this, right? So International put out this like fun bingo on their Instagram, and I was following it, and I thought, man, this is kind of cool. There is no contest around this, quite honestly. But what I would say, the number one question that we have all the time is, what should I be doing? Where can I get more business, right? This has all of that on here to grow your business this year, right? So I would highly encourage you to keep this. I like laminating things, but like maybe laminate it, put it in your, backpack or whatever you carry, and really see which ones you can actually cross off. And when one of you actually has a bingo, I would love for you to share it, right? And maybe we will create a concept around it, but I'm like, let's get this in front of people, because there's really great things in here, like host a client event, I don't know, attend family reunion. Weird, that was up here. Update your headshot, Eric. Negotiate.
Oh my God.
I only say this because
I didn't feel attacked before.
he has a new headshot that he has not gotten to Candy yet, so we just keep using his old one, and he's like, do not use that. I was like, we need your new one. So that was at me giving you a little push for that. But there's really good things on here, right? It's like, oh, I feel like I'm right on the ALC again. Any questions around this? All right, let's do wants and needs real quick. It is after 12, but any new listings, buyer needs, what do we got?
I have a new client that's looking for some hunting land and a cabin for under $300,000 worth of St. Cloud. There, is kind of out of my realm. I haven't really done that before. So anybody has any hunting land, 20 acres or more, or a cabin? My name's Jason, by the way. It's my first name.
He's like, oh, it's my birthday at school. Awesome. What else?
We have a super cute listing for 300,000 coming up in Minneapolis. And it'll be on the market probably in a week. But if you have somebody looking for a 3-bedroom, super cute, tiny little house. It is super cute.
Just in case anyone want to know, it's super cute and tiny. Like, I don't know what else to say. Where in Minneapolis?
5,800 Newton.
That is also
It is a really cute neighborhood.
When you say tiny, what is it?
1,200. It's expansive. Got it. Thank you. It's very habitable.
We have a new listing in southern Plymouth, right behind Carlson Towers. 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, probably mid-4s. Was renovated probably 7, 8 years ago. And, great spot. Road was just redone. Like a proud father.
Wendy.
Buyers looking, in somewhere between Dayton, St. Michael, at least 3, preferably 4 bedroom. And 2+ garages, shed, and anywhere from 1/3 of an acre to couple acres. Be awesome, and preferably under 475.
We got a super unique investment opportunity, that if you guys know people up north, we have a listing that is on the Gunflint Trail. It's 130 acres of forest, basically, that
You
is
hunted?
is developable. Yeah, it's like, it is 3,900 feet of lake shore. So you can put 15 homes on the lake, and you can put about 15 homes off the lake on 5-acre minimums, but the lake shore is 1-acre minimums. There is a resort that's nearby, and the Gunflint Trail is newly paved. It's right by Grand Marais up there, so it's a long ways away, but for anybody who's looking at a good investment up north, it's a very, very good one. Tax value is about $1.8 million, and we can sell this thing for $1.2 million.
What lake?
It is. What's the name of that lake? Sherry, do you remember the lake? No, the lake. No, the lake name is, I'll tell you in a second.
Probably like a number when you're over there.
It's a 200, it's a lake that's about 4 times the size of Lake Riley. So 1,000 acres, and it is 220 feet deep.
Are there fish?
And it is public access. There's a beautiful public access to it, so it's
No
full.
question. There's like
recreational.
not.
There's only big fish. That's it.
Go with.
Just big ones.
All right, let's see, we've got a fourplex in the Whittier neighborhood, at 1.15. It just had over $500,000 put into it, new windows, new roof, new everything essentially. Got some of the highest rents in the area, and you can't reproduce this. And so it's 1.15, it's off market. Also have a duplex in the Whittier neighborhood as well of Minneapolis at 475. Also both, it's a super awesome investor owner that really cares and puts more into it than he probably should. But it makes it a super easy running machine for the decades to come. And then we've got one in Edina that is off market as well. All 3 of these are available to show now. The one in Edina is 1.2, like a 6-bed, 4-bath, 3-car garage. Super desirable 2-story.
The fourplex rented out right now.
Yes, 3 units, and we've got an application on the 4th.
All right. If you have any other ones or you want to add those, send them to Lydia. She will have those out today. Have them to her by 3 o'clock. Otherwise, happy 2025 and thanks for coming. Have a great week. Okay, potty break and we'll go to